Oh, well, my friends, good evening. It's Wednesday night. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the Legend Sports Network at LennyMelnickFantasySports.com, which means it is time for Draft for Upside. I am Jonathan Danger Cole, beer lover extraordinaire and terrible fantasy DFS player. Joining me for the first hour, our good man, a pretty solid fantasy DFS player, Adam White. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Not sure I can live up to those praises, but I'm doing quite well tonight.
Well, I said solid. I didn't say spectacular.
That's true.
I mean, you always have the right guys. It's just a matter of getting the six of them together in a lineup instead of all six of the right guys, but in four different lineups.
Exactly. I think all the guys we always talk about on the pod do pretty well.
Yeah.
And I look at the scores each week, and I'm like, damn it, a lot of the guys we talked about did really well. I just don't have them all in the same lineup.
All right, got to work on that.
Play more lineups, I guess.
So if you're listening to us for the first time on demand or live, you can listen to us live at LennyMelnickFantasySports.com. Click on Listen Live, and you go there, register as a guest. It's free, and interact with us in the chat room. Sometimes people talk to us in the chat room, Adam, every now and then.
Occasionally. I haven't noticed that lately, though.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet lately, but that's okay because we're still trying to build up this thing. It's fun, it's free, and we have a good time regardless of whether anybody listens, right?
That's the name of the game, man.
I mean, it's just like when I play like Cards Against Humanity with friends, and nobody ever picks my cards, but I laugh in the corner like a freaking idiot because I find me hilarious. So I find me entertaining, and that's all that matters.
As long as we have a good time tonight, our mission will be accomplished.
It's pretty fun for a couple of guys who have met each other, maybe 5 times now, and a guy in Chris, which I don't think anybody has ever met.
Thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully. Thank God. That dude's a douche. Just saying. Anyways, yeah, man, we have fun, and it doesn't matter if anybody listens. It gives us a fun excuse to talk sports. It helps me in my fantasy game because it helps me hear other perspectives and keep my shit legit. And frankly, it makes me follow things like the PGA, which I enjoy golf, but I probably would not follow or care at all if it weren't for our hour-long interactions once a week.
Don't you find your life more fulfilling now that you're paying attention to the PGA Tour?
I really do. Just so much happier in my day-to-day life. I just, at least, Wednesday when I get super excited about it, and then halfway through Thursday until I realize all of my guys are going to miss the cut. So I get like 2 days of joy out of it.
The anticipation is always the best part, and then all the guys you think you had figured out start bombing on Thursday, and you're like, what is going on? That's just golf, man. That's the fun about it, is it's so unpredictable. It's also the most frustrating. But
absolutely. What I really like, honestly, is our little contest, which anybody can join if you search for Draft for Upside, DRAUGHT, as in draft beer, Draft for Upside on DraftKings. You can find our private public private event, and play along with us. It's $3, and you get a 4-day sweat, right? So I like it. So good. So what are you drinking, man? We like to talk beer. We like to talk booze. We like to talk whatever tickles your fancy. What you got, buddy? What are you sipping on?
I didn't have a ton at home. I didn't have a chance to stop for anything because I came straight from work. But started with a little bit of Crown. I'm going to work my way into some beer here in a little bit.
I can get behind some whiskey, man. I'm a pretty big whiskey fan. So I have an interesting beer. I think it's pretty good. It's not necessarily my style of beer, but it's pretty tasty. So this is a collaboration that Witch's Hat Brewing, my beautiful employer who pays me to hang out and be cool, and I enjoy that job. And Listerman's, a brewery out of Cincinnati that has won a bunch of awards for their beers. We met these guys at FOBAB in Chicago last year, the Festival of Barrel-Aged Beers. And they were really cool, and they wanted to do a collaboration. So we had them up to our brewery and brewed a bourbon and maple bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Brown Ale with a ton of caramel malt, and powderized cashews. And that's going to be amazing. And that's in our bourbon barrels, still chilling and aging. But then we went down to Cincinnati, or at least some of the brewers did. I didn't get to go. And made a double New England. Let me read this thing for you. A New England double IPA, brewed with Vic's Secret, which is a new hot and trendy, juicy, trendy hop, Michigan Copper hops, El Dorado hops, and Centennial hops, with 140 pounds of various gummy fruits added. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm always willing to try new beers, so that sounds delicious.
I'll shoot you a picture if I didn't. I think I might have already sent it to our chat once, but it's like this melted looking rainbow sherbet, like metallic background with a whole bunch of floating Swedish fish, Sour Patch Kids, gummy bears, gummy sharks, gummy worms, and maybe juju fruit, I think is the other thing, which was all thrown into this beer. And it's 8.6% alcohol, and it is cloyingly sweet for me. But oh yeah, what a beautiful sound, huh?
One of the best. One of the best. For me,
I got a whole case, so if we meet up for a beer sometime soon, I'll share some with you.
Bring some. For my money, that's right up there with a putt dropping in the hole in golf. Beer opening is pretty fantastic.
It's really.
So I've been noticing. As I've been out gallivanting around the town, I've noticed a lot of beers that are definitely much more bright and vibrant in color. Is that something that you guys think about when you're looking to brew a beer? Is that something that just happens as a result of the ingredients?
A lot of times it happens as a result of the ingredients. We have our blueberry lemonade Goza. It's out in the market right now, which pours like a beautiful, that deep bluish purple color that blueberries tend to be. And it's fantastic. People really dig it. Basically tastes like a blueberry lemonade margarita straight out of the can. It's pretty damn good.
I had a couple of those at Embrew that night when you whooped my ass in shuffleboard. And
yes, that happened.
I think that was my thing. I was drinking the wrong beer. I'm going to use that as my excuse. But I thought it was quite tasty. I can drink a couple of them. It seems like it was a little sweet to volume drink.
Yeah, no, it's not my favorite beer to drink as a standalone, but man, I really enjoy making craft cocktails out of it. I use it as a topper for gin and tonic, whiskey sours, margaritas, martinis. I like to top it off an IPA. You get a little hoppiness and just putting an ounce or two over top of a pint of an IPA, and got a little blueberry IPA. It's fantastic.
Now you're talking. It sounds pretty good, actually.
Pretty big fan. So
I think especially as a topper to the cocktails, that'd be a fantastic little addition.
Oh, man. It's a lot of fun. So there's this little dive bar that I won't promote because they ain't paying me. Pay me, people, and we'll promote you. Ain't that right, Adam?
Yes,
anyway, it's got this little dive bar that is doing that as a gin and tonic and a whiskey sour mix. And they're literally using house gin and house whiskey for this drink, which, as most people will know, a house whiskey or gin at a dive bar, that bottle maybe costs $5 for the whole fifth. Maybe. And they like the gin, let's call it the gin, $5 for the whole bottle of gin. So they do, a typical bar pour, 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces of gin, over ice, of course, squeeze of lime, splash of tonic water, and then about 2 to 3 ounces of that blueberry lemonade beer. And they're charging $9, and it's flying out the window. Just flying. It's a crazy moneymaker. Yeah, I keep arguing with all the bars that they need to be doing this, and only a handful have taken me up on it. But it's just money, hand over fist. Gimme. No, yeah, that's it. I love it.
The cocktail trends always fascinates me. Because it seems like there's something new and hot every year. A couple of years ago, the Moscow Mule was extremely popular. Now they're doing Kentucky Mule and Irish Mule and Mexican Mule. You see them all over the place.
Yeah. I'm what I coined the Piccadilly Mule, which is English dry gin in my mule. I like that a lot.
That sounds like it'd be a nice combo with that ginger beer.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I dig it, man. So I had a pretty fun event last night. I had a beer dinner I shared with the wonderful group at Bell's Brewing Company at the new Sedona Tap House in Novi. Have you heard about Sedona Tap House?
I have not yet. Fill me in.
So So they're a chain restaurant, but they're like 50 beers on tap, 150 in the bottle kind of place, and but they're a higher end bar food, and it's fantastic. The food is so good. So they opened their first Michigan location. I think they're out of like Virginia, maybe something like that. Virginia, North Carolina. I can't remember. I think it's Virginia. And they opened one in Troy. A guy named JD, really nice guy, franchisee, bought in, opened one in Troy, and did so well that they opened one in Novi inside the 12 Oaks Mall in the corner of JCPenney and Macy's. And it's fantastic. Had a great beer dinner. The shining star was this bourbon glazed bone-in center cut pork chop with a pineapple chutney to go over top. Bell's, we each paired a beer with each course. So they paired their pineapple jalapeno Oberon, which was incredibly good. And then we paired our 12% alcohol Belgian quad with figs with it. So we played off the kind of caramel and sweetness of the quad and figs, and then they played off a little bit of the spice and sweetness of the jalapeno and pineapple. And it was just so much fun to take a bite of the food and then try each beer, and it brought out different flavors each time. It was so good. So you're jealous now, aren't you?
Extremely.
Yeah, I bet you are. It was so good. And then for dessert, creme brulee, paired with blueberry lemonade goza. And then on the other side, they brought their Black Note, the bourbon barrel-aged stout. It was fantastic.
How much weight did you gain last night?
I ate like 3 bites of each because I'm on the program.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was wondering about. Thought you might be slipping.
Nope, I'm on the program. I even went to Green Dot in Lansing today and had 2 sliders, only ate one of the buns, and only a half an order of fries.
They got a Green Dot in Lansing now?
They do, yeah. They opened last year, just in time to be open for a month or two when Lansing flooded. They happened to be right next to that river and had 3 feet of standing water in the restaurant right after they opened.
That's brutal.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. So, but insurance covered a lot of that, but they were closed for several months, so they lost a lot of income off that. But they're back and they're booming. Always have Witches Hat 3-quart Kolschan, so that's kick-ass. And I love that place. I could eat like 12 sliders, their mac and cheese, like 3 orders of their different flavors of French fries. So I was very well restrained today, I believe.
I love the one in Detroit. I go down there a chance I get it. It's a little bit out of the way if you're going to like Midtown, but It is well worth the trip, man. I usually pair it with like a trip to Corktown. Works out pretty well.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite bar concepts. It's basically just sliders, just every flavor of slider you can possibly imagine. Everything in the place is $3. The sliders are $3. The beers are $3. The sides are $3. It's just $3.
Yep. And they always surprise you with their slider of the day or whatever, like the chef's
mystery meat. They call it the mystery meat.
Yes, there you go. Mystery meat. Could be anything. I can't remember what I had last time. It was something really exotic and actually ended up being pretty good. But
oh yeah, I've had like rattlesnake. I've had all kinds of things in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really tasty stuff. All right, my friend. So let's talk a little sports for a hot minute here, and tell me about basketball. I know you follow a little bit of the NBA. I do not. So we are coming up on the finals here, correct?
Yeah, game 1 starting tomorrow. We got the Warriors and the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah. Dude, for a hot minute, I thought Milwaukee was just going to just storm through the playoffs, go undefeated, and they just kind of fell apart, didn't they?
Yeah, Toronto's really kind of exposed some of their shooting inefficiency from the outside, really forced everything to the perimeter. They put Kawhi on Giannis, who's just an absolute freak, but he's probably a couple years away from being the dominant player in the playoffs, where teams are more game plan and matchup focused. Mm-hmm. You're playing the same team every game. It's a little bit different animal than the regular season, but no, it was an awesome.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Milwaukee had the best record of the year this year, right?
They did. Yeah, they were top record in the NBA. So they were the
right now 60 wins. That's an impressive season.